Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Basement Card Collector. In today's video, we are going to show you what we picked up at a card shop. Not a local card shop, our friends to the south in Indianapolis, the Indy Card Exchange is where we went on this trip. And before we get started with the goods of our haul from today's find, take a look at who's joining us on the show today. On the stage here to my left is Mr. Andre Dawson on our favorite 1989 Topps. A really cool find we picked up not too long ago, a 1969 Gil Hodges Topps card. And what I think I may have found a sneaky cool Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card on a 1989 just kind of random card. Never seen it before, but found that also in the dime box. And our 5x7 Nolan Ryan autograph postcard, which we have had a long time. Let's get to what we found. We were down in Indianapolis for a family get-together, and it's kind of one of the things I like to do as we go by. I like to stop and run through. It's a really awesome card shop. Has a little bit of everything, and if you have time you can do some digging is what I did, and I found a couple cool cards from the case. So let me run through what we picked up. Can't really be from Indiana and not pick up some of our WNBA star Caitlin Clark. It's kind of a double whammy card. One of her early cards, she's in her college uniform, which I love. She's wearing number 22, which I love. It's kind of our family number. So a Caitlin Clark rookie card, pretty simple, but just feel like I should have more of her in my collection. A few cards to go along with my celebrations. I picked up 2 Ranger cards when they won their World Series. Here's Corey Seager in the team card. And here's a really cool shot of Buster Posey when they won their World Series. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them or where, but I just like seeing the photos like that, so we're going to keep picking those up. I'm calling them like celebration cards. And I have this is from the digging of the dime box, and I think I filled up a box for like 10 bucks, and I don't remember where these fell, but I know they came from this box. Schwarber, the 25. I do love the Jackson Merrill, Tatis, and they both played for our minor league team down the road in Fort Wayne, so I like the two of them. Just a little bit of extra when I see them, pick them up. There's Manny Machado. Same thing for Juan Soto. Actually, it was a cool thing when he was in San Diego with those youngsters. 2 for the old school days, Mr. Chris Bryant, former Cubby, but I still have to pick him up. And here's an Anthony Rizzo. And here's a pretty cool Luis Arraez. I just think he's something cool that not many people are talking about, but he won 3 straight batting titles, for heaven's sakes. Let's put the Schwarbs. We'll just kind of keep stacking these because we've got a lot to show you. 1 card for our buddy Bart at BC Sport Cards, Joey Bart. I'll put that in your pile there, sir. I picked up 2 more players for my Jason Franken set. Jason Hayward on the Dodgers Topps card, and a Jason Adam, which I think would be the first player, first card of him in the Franken set. Jason Hayward, former Cubby as well, so that kind of works out. I am also building a huge binder, and again, I'm just kind of in the collecting phases here, but of Gold Cup cards. New, old, when we find them. Yoshida, James Outman, but just Gold Cups from all years. Ryan Yarbrough, and the oldest one we found, check this out, 1972 Topps, Steve Braun. So I do love the Gold Cups as well, and again, that is a huge set that we're working on, but that's all good. What else we have here? We have a little stack of vintage guys, and this is Jim Mudcat Grant on the 72. He will probably make his way into the 72 set, actually. Check this out, Lou Whitaker in a pretty good shape for $1 on the rookie card. I'll take it. Same thing for the Nolan Ryan cards. He is on tons of leader cards, of course, back in those 70s, and I think I get them every time I find them. I probably have 10 copies of this card, but you can't get enough of that. There's Jim Palmer on a really cool 78. Here's a really beat up card from Lou Brock. This did not cost $1, but it's a vintage Hall of Famer with that cool All-Star logo. Same thing for the Johnny Bench. It's been chewed up, eaten, maybe spit out, but it's just an awesome photo. I have another copy of that, I think. Also, this we picked up for the set too, a Bobby Bonds record breaker for the set. Same thing for the Willie Randolph. I did not have that in the quote-unquote traded set. It's not really extra, even though it says. But anyway, I didn't have the Willie Randolph. Super young Tim Raines. That's year number 2 on the 82 tops. Here's a Yogi Berra. Not really vintage, but you get it. I still pick up the Players of the Greats on that new product. We'll put him in our Yogi Berra collection. Same thing for this MVP kind of flashback. There's Roy and Yogi. And so that's my little vintage pickup, but I was most happy to pick up this Lou Whitaker rookie card for $1. It's like, that's a pretty sweet find. Swinging on into the Cubbies stack. I like to pick up this for the Cubby binder and the Cubbies collection, and we'll just run through these. There's Sweet Lou, tons of 24 tops. Again, nobody that you really need to see or hear about, but, whoa, sorry, Pete. Little combo card, there's Pete and Seiya. Chromes, you name it. I want them in the Cubbies binder. Here's 25 tops. And again, nobody really, just players that I need to stick in the binder. And that runs for all the sets. So Bowman, old school tops, younger tops, newer tops, you name it. He actually had a really cool stack of these 75 kind of remakes. There's the Ernie and Nellie Fox card from the 59 MVP. So we'll put this in the Heritage Team set. But there's Ian Happ, you know, the usual suspects. There's Seiya again. But just Cubbies for the Cubbies binder. I always pick those up, and I think those are just part of the filler. I filled that box up for $10, and those came along with it, so we love that. Actually picked up 2 of these. This is kind of cool. Here's one we just picked up, and this is the actual 75 tops. And most of you know that, I understand that, but so I have the original. This will be in the Ernie Banks, and so will this. And so I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't realize I picked up 2 of the Heritage version, but what do you do? All right, we're getting to the end. I also hit up in this card shop. He has binders by year, boxes by the year, and man, most of them are even in number order. So for set builders like myself, or if you're looking for certain players, you can just kind of pull to that page and look for, you know, number 222, and you can just zoom right to it. Here's what we picked up for the vintage Cubbies. Here's George Brett, Bill Madlock on that leaders card. And again, I need it in my top set. I need it in my George Brett's. I need a copy of my Cubbies binder. So we'll see where this goes, and we'll fit him someplace. We ran through the 72 box. And again, I'm working on the team set, and I'm working on the actual set. So we will see where these fall. So 72 tops, nice little run. And I went through and plucked a bunch of 59s out of there. Dale Long, and again, Bobby Thompson. That's the Bobby Thompson. Oh, got the pink. 59s. We jumped into some 58s the same way. I love that yellow. It just looks so good. And someone put a nice big cursive S on Jim Brosnan's face. I don't know what that's all about, but I do love stuff like that. And then we have one more on the 58s. Whoa, check these babies out. Jump into 54 tops. And again, for $1, I think is what we got these. And I get it. But man, I just love things like that when we switch over to the 55s. Oh man, they just look so cool. There's Stan Hack, he's the manager. And for some reason, we jumped back to 57. I don't know how he got out of order, but that's okay. So Cubbies vintage cards taking a huge uptick. Let's put Bobby Thompson up there, the man with the home run. That is the same one. Okay, here's my final two piles. Another huge thing that I'm working on, and I really don't know where I stand. I just keep picking them up, and when we find them, I add them to the pile. So where am I at now in my Cubs team set cards collection? I don't know, but we found some really sweet ones. Check out the 59 tops. And if you're like me, don't you just enjoy when they're beat up like that? Like, think of the story this thing has been through. I don't know how you get a hole like this, but that's the 59 tops team card. Whoa, this is one of my bigger purchases. So cool. Look at that. That is one of the oldest one I have. I think that's from 57. We've picked up the new one. Picked up the 64. I just love these. And there's the 73. And all of the, just they have, I mean, isn't that crazy to think that these are the same object here. Team card, 2025, 1957, I think. It's just cool stuff. They're the Chicago Cubs, my favorite. And we're just trying to run together all of these years, the 59. I love them. I'm trying to get the whole run, but I'm also working on, you know, putting them in a team set, putting them in a team binder, and building the actual set. So there's a lot to do to those to make that set be complete, but I am loving the challenge and loving finding them here and there. We did pick up a vintage card of a non-Cubby. Check this guy out for $5. The postcard from Willie Mays, 1961. Now it looks like some lucky kid back in the day must have used his teeth, maybe a rusty old knife. Like, I mean, look at the cutting skills somebody had at the bottom. I mean, come on. Didn't do so bad on the sides, but my word, the bottom has seen better days. Like it maybe was dipped in cereal itself. And then someone decided to say, you know what, that's Willie Mays, we should keep him. But I took it, I'll take it. I just love the stuff like this. I think it's amazing that it survived this time, and I kind of like it when it has a little bit of character to it. Speaking of my favorite player, jumping up to Mr. Andre Dawson, we found two shiny cards of his. One on the Expos, one on the Marlins. So two of his lesser known teams, but nonetheless very fun. And the coolest Dawson card I found before I show you my final two pickups, the Indy Card Exchange. Check it out if you haven't. They have a really cool box of just for Cubs. Jerseys, autographs, big names, commons, and you just dig for, you know, whatever you want. And I did see a Dawson, a vintage special collection. If you look, it says game used pants. But I just love the blue. And it has the game used on the back like we like to see on the upper deck. So that's another jersey card for my man Andre Dawson. Love that. Oh boy. And actually these last two cards we're going to show you were the first two cards I bought when I walked in that day. And then I ended up digging for the rest of these things as we sat around and talked. I actually bought them both together. Gave me a really sweet deal. How about we go with the 67 tops, Mr. Ernie Banks. Great looking, he doesn't have a bad looking card, but love the logo on his shoulder there, on his sleeve. Just love the red and the blue, the orange, the smile. He just doesn't take a bad photo. There's the Ernie Banks 67 tops. And that just adds to my Ernie Banks tops run. But the coolest one of the that was the second one in the bundle here. This is the one that I was eyeing first. I finally have the 58 All-Star. I just think that's one of the coolest looking sets that Topps has ever made. Love the stars. And if I know you are, but if you're familiar with the American League, they have the red background with all the stars in the back. And the owner of the shop, it was the taller gentleman. I don't know what his name is exactly. I've only been down there maybe a handful of times, but Ernie Banks 58 All-Star. You can see the sticker. That's the sticker that was in the booth. And he said, I kept looking at them. It's like, wow, I really didn't really spend that much to, I didn't really bring that much to spend. And so without digging through the boxes yet, I knew I was going to go find some nice things to pick up before we left. So I kind of let those set for a minute. He did take them out of the box for me to let them go. But he gave me a great deal and did not pay what the sticker was. He did give me the bundle deal for the two of them. Super happy. And then once I heard that price, I went to digging. I went to digging through the boxes and filled this box up for 10 bucks. The vintage binders where we picked up some of those Cubby cards. The Cubby's box itself where I found the Dawsons and the team cards. The Willie Mays was just kind of buried in a vintage box, and I just couldn't have been happier with this trip down to Indianapolis. We were there for family reasons, which was also very nice, but we also just love stopping in there because I don't go there enough to, you know, really be totally familiar with all that they have down there. So wow, that was a great haul, great finds for me and my collection, and I really couldn't be happier. So thank you folks for watching, and we'll see you next time.